Hi, I'm David Koski.
And I'm Christian Hancock.
And welcome to the Maine Antique Journal, your show about antiques, furniture, and their care and restoration.
On the Maine Antique Journal, we will give you an in-depth look into the antiques market, the styles and origins of period furniture, as well as insights to their history and the masters who created them.
In addition to studying antique furniture, I will bring you into my world of repairs and restoration. In doing so, I will demonstrate some methods to care for your own furniture. Now, I've been in the antique conservation and restoration business for over 20 years.
And I know only a little bit about antiques, and I've never repaired them. But if David can teach me, then we can teach you.
In this episode, we will answer some common questions about the antiques market as we visit with David Day of Day's Antiques in Brunswick. Then, we'll return to the shop and address a common problem, loose chairs. And finally, we'll begin our journey through furniture history by discussing the Queen Anne period.
So let's go to Brunswick.
Hi, we're on Park Row, crossing the town green here in downtown Brunswick. And we're going to visit with David Day of Day's Antiques, right here in the historic Pumpkin House. Well, David Day's been in the antique market for over 20 years, and he carries some of the finest and most diverse collection of glassware, furniture, art, some really great stuff. So we're going to head inside and visit with him, and afterward, we're going to go back to the shop where I'm going to walk you through the process of tightening up some loose chairs. Let's go inside. So David, thanks for having us here today. Really appreciate it.
Glad you could come.
Thank you. Well, you know, I've been here quite often. I love your shop. A lot of great pieces. Maybe you could tell our viewers how long you've been in the antiques market, how long you've been here in Brunswick at the historic Pumpkin House.
We've had an open shop in Brunswick about, this will be our 20th year, and we've been here in the Pumpkin House about 18 years.
Now you still do estate buying, don't you?
Yes, yes. We buy a single piece or an entire, the entire contents.
Now being here in New England, what do you see now as a more common trend in what people are buying?
I can't say, you know, right at this point in time across the antiques market, I feel there's a trend in any special look, any special period.
Would you say that most, well, we'll use the word loosely, collectors, or somebody who is just looking to furnish their home, would you say that the style is a lot more eclectic now than it has been in the past?
Yes. Yes, I do.
So you see a lot of...
I personally think, you know, to mix things up with different periods, different styles, different colors and textures, it creates a much more interesting living situation than somebody that's trying to do all the same period furniture in the same colored woods. And you know, in this day and age, people are not all antique collectors are living in big old or period houses. A lot of them are in contemporary condos, and they are, you know, furnishing those bright, light, contemporary living spaces with antiques and contemporary furniture.
Okay, so with the diverse population that we have, and the trends actually tending to be more eclectic, the customers that are coming in, would you say that they tend to be maybe a little bit more not the everyday customer? I'm not talking about dealers or people who work in museums or something like that. We're talking about the everyday retail customer. Would you say that they tend to be a little bit more knowledgeable based on the population that we have, the eclectic interest, and maybe even the media affecting knowledgeability with, like, the Antiques Roadshow?
I think a lot of the retail clients we are seeing would like to be more knowledgeable. They have questions. They want to know what they're buying. They're curious to know, well, if I buy this today for $1,000, is it going to be worth $500 next week, or is it going to appreciate and be sort of an investment? the roadshow and other programs of that sort have caused a lot of great things to come out of attics, basements, and garages. For example, a teapot on the roadshow that's, you know, appraised at some significant amount of money. For the next 3 weeks, we see every teapot from every cupboard from Portsmouth, New Hampshire to the Canadian border.
One of the things that I've noticed, David, is that a show like the Antique Roadshow has sort of turned antiques and glassware and such almost into a commodities market with the values that are given on air. And that I don't think the average customer understands that market value fluctuates greatly. There can be an interest in a particular style for a 10-year run, and then it can really drop off. And that, you know, there's a big difference between, you know, auction value and appraisal for insurance value.
Besides buying and selling antiques, we do quite an appraisal business. And we get 3 or 4 calls a day for people that initially say, I need an appraisal. Well, you have to find out, do they want an appraisal to find out what something's worth? Are they interested in disposing of it? Is it an appraisal for insurance purposes where you know, there'll be a rider attached to their homeowner's policy? Is it probate appraisal? There's a lot of people seeking information on what they own for different reasons. And in some cases, an item that you might appraise in Maine in the middle of the winter is not going to have the same value that it might have in New York City or Miami Beach in the middle of the summer.
So, let's see, must be 10 o'clock. How many more clocks do we have to go up?
15 to 20.
There's a nice one. So if you're looking for a clock, we can definitely help you out with that. I guess the last question that I have is I think everybody's feeling the impact of today's market. Would you, I know it's probably difficult as a seller, but would you say that given this market now that it's actually a really good buyer's market?
I think it's a great time to buy. I see all the dealers that I deal with, you know, being very negotiable with what they have. And, you know, if you have a client looking for a specific piece, I know I spend a lot of time looking around trying to help them acquire that. But it's a great time to buy antiques. I think with the way the stock market is now, and just from my own personal experience, you're better off putting your money into a piece of artwork, good quality piece of furniture, and down the road, you're going to get your money back, and 9 times out of 10, you're going to make some money.
Thank you very much, David. In future shows, we will be back to visit with David. Obviously, a very knowledgeable person that we can chat with to cover different styles and interests in this great world of antiques. So thanks again, David, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Thank you for coming.